Hey guys, Ben from KCD here. We'll make this real quick for you. So we are going ahead and doing a unboxing here of one of the Anderson manufacturing lowers and their lower parts kit. Now, Anderson has really cornered the market with, $40, $50, $60 lowers. To the point where if you are kind of in the know in the industry, they sell more lowers every year than I think it's the next three companies combined. So your Aero Precision, your Spikes, whatever, those are boutique manufacturers compared to what Anderson is doing in terms of volume. So it's high volume, but is it good quality? This is something that you actually want to have on your gun. It's something you want to make a gun out of. So we're going to go ahead and look into that. We're going to see kind of what the parts kit is, what the RF85 treatment is, what it means for you as a gun owner as far as a lubrication source, and all that good stuff. So guys, just go ahead and stay tuned. Coming up next, we'll go ahead and unbox those Anderson parts. Guys, they've been called poverty ponies. Are they worth it? Hey guys, Ben from KCT here. It's been a long week. Let's get into it. We have some new Anderson stuff. We're going to go ahead and unbox that for you guys. I know there's a lot of questions out there. Well, Anderson parts, Anderson lowers, are they good? Are they not good? What are they? So, for your enjoyment, we have a new in-box Anderson parts kit. So, lower parts kit, obviously everything but the buffer tube and all that. And Anderson lower. So, we'll take a look. I'm not going to go ahead and do a detent by detent build on this thing, because if you want to see an AR get built, there's a lot of people that are doing it online. They don't have time to film it all. So, but what we're going to do is go ahead and get into what makes these lowers, why you might want them, why you might not want them, and same thing with the lower parts kit. So let's go ahead and get started. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share. Do all that good stuff that will help us out the channel. Lots of good content coming every day. Well, every Wednesday and Saturday. The days that we go ahead and put those out. So first of all, let's go ahead and let's look at the lower. So we're going to go ahead in just a minute. We're going to bring this down to the tabletop, take a look at what's going on. But first, you want to see more of my face. I know you do. So I'm just going to read this to you. So, the first thing I want to say is Anderson lowers, for what they are not bad. I know there's people out there that are just foaming at the mouth right now, and their keyboards are just lighting up. People, the PSA pours out here, all that stuff. I get it. I understand. When you buy a $200-300 lower and then somebody goes, "This is $59." You better hope that your lower is a lot better than something like this. So that's really all I'm going to say on that. In some cases, a lower is a lower until it's not. So one thing I will say about Anderson is they do have a gimmick. Okay, and the gimmick you're going to have to look past if you want to go ahead and use these products. So I'm just going to read this, and we'll kind of get into it. To know if your parts are RF85 treated, look for the markings or bright green sticker. See that? Okay. So, about Anderson Manufacturing. With over 50 years of machining experience, Anderson Manufacturing provides quality, American-made parts at a competitive price. Our manufacturing facility is located in Hebron, Kentucky. I don't know. USA Anderson Manufacturing also provides the world's only no-lube rifle. RF85 reduces friction 85% and provides a 23% faster action. RF85 rifles and parts are permanently treated with the RF85 treatment and cleaned with soap and water. Okay, so that's a lot to unpack. Let's take a look at the... Yeah, it's the same thing on the back of this. Okay, guys, the lubrication, the film, whatever's on this stuff, it's not magic. It's not, there's definitely lube out there that will work far better than what these things are supposedly coated with. Guys, especially if you're a newer shooter and you're seeing a $50, $60 lower, I mean, it's on a freaking card, for God's sakes. You can almost buy these at grocery stores. If you're looking at something and it says no lube, don't worry about it, it's fine, don't worry about it. Okay? There is no such thing as a no lube mechanical device. There is, it's designed to fail. So just take this with a grain of salt. I know that they stand behind their treatment, all that good stuff. I don't buy these things for the RF85, and I've put together a couple dozen Anderson lowers for myself and other people, guns and projects and things, and I've only had a couple issues with them, but I'm never buying one going, oh God, I'll never have to lube this. Guys, lube your guns. Don't go by what's on the back of this box, okay? It's really simple. It's cheap insurance. It's like changing the oil in your freaking car. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to dive into it. First of all, we're going to go ahead and open this thing up, and then we'll do a little show and tell. So if you hear me screaming, I've cut my arm off. There we go. Always cut towards yourself. Don't listen to this, okay. Alright, so that takes care of that. One Anderson lower out of the box. You can see there, no, I don't care about people knowing what my serial numbers are. Deal with it. Just the logo, and then fire and safe, no bullet pictograms, anything else like that. Pretty standard. See the Anderson manufacturing logo. It says AM15 multi-cal, and then of course the serial number, and then the place it was made, Hebron, Kentucky. So that's the lower, fresh out of the package. Okay, so pretty standard stuff, guys. There's nothing really too crazy in here. Unlike my awesome Great Lakes Firearms lower, this actually has a machined mag well. That doesn't suck. Okay. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and put that aside, and then we have this stuff. So what we'll do with this real quick is we're going to go ahead and look at this on the bench. So you'll actually see me open this for the first time. We'll find out what's good and what's not. Alright, one sec. Okay guys, so we're back here on the bench taking a look at the Anderson lower parts kit. So we're going to go ahead and unbox this today, see what's in there. So again, this is a complete lower parts kit except for the buffer tube, the buffer assembly, all that good stuff. So here we have a nice, I believe it's Cerakoted, FDE buffer tube. So that'll be on this rifle because this gun is going to be black and tan, kind of differentiate it for the 5.56 because it's going to be a 300 blackout. And just a nice Luth AR spring, you know, just $5. Nothing too major. And then just the UTG buffer. Guys, don't sleep on these. These are really, really nice for what they are. Like $7, and the finish on them is very, very slick. Very, very nice. They're finished very, very well. So if somebody pops up and offers you one of these things for the low, low price of, you know, $6, $7, $8, if you need a buffer, you could definitely do worse than something like this. Okay, so enough jawing about that. Let's take a look at the lower parts kit. So we'll go ahead and open this up. Now, I have used one of these before, and it is the Anderson with the silver hammer. That is actually in my video of my 3 favorite duty triggers. That is an amazing trigger. Okay, so first of all, what you want to do, if you see this, looks like that is an A2 grip. I'll throw that away. There we go. Okay, so Anderson is cool in the sense that they provide you everything broken down in its own little package. So with all these things, these are all for like the lower, you know, parts. So you're gonna have your grip screw, your trigger guard, things like that. You know, your takedown pins, your selector, your detents. You see the detents in there, and then the fire selector detent. And then of course there's your takedown spring or takedown pin springs. And then this is your let's see here, fire control spring that goes with that detent in the grip of the pistol grip. So guys, have you noticed that there's a nice kind of a quality, there's a little bit of a shine to some of these parts. I don't know whether it's supposed to be the RF85, but the finish isn't bad on them. The finish isn't bad, I'll say that. They're kind of wet, so you can kind of see with that, a little bit wet there. But yeah, so what's nice is that when you go to put these things together, everything is in its own little spot. So like for here, this is your trigger assembly, your trigger pins, your bolt catch, all that good stuff. So everything that's sort of included in that area is in this little box. So I'm not going to go through and open up everything and, you know, individually all the parts. Guys, a detent is a detent at the end of the day. But we'll take a look at a couple different things. Again, one of my favorite things with the Anderson lowers was the silver hammer, the nickel plated one that they have. This is not that one, and it sells for about the same price. Now, for a stock trigger, that is a pretty good value. Being that, you know, the parts kit's like $50, something like that, and you get a really good stock and mil spec trigger. So I'm going to be interested to see how these perform as far as triggers. Bright light on there, but I have so many trigger parts and things like that. If I'm not using, you know, kind of an upgraded trigger, I can just go ahead and swap out, you know, the disconnector, steers, all that good stuff, until I get what I want. So we'll take a look at it though real quick. And there, you can see that. All right, so it's a little bit glossy. It's actually kind of wet. And see there, wiped off the thing there. It's more like a light coating of oil. And so this is their RF85 treatment. Again, guys, don't believe the hype. If somebody tells you something that's too good to be true, it is too good to be true, especially in the gun world. So I look at this again, and I just say, okay, baloney. You know, you need to lube your gun, and this doesn't make your gun faster. This doesn't make you. I mean, it might be a good surface lubricant for the parts in question. You know, the trigger, pretty nice. But it's nothing that you would never lube your gun. So you can kind of see on my hand. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, kind of. So yeah, all this stuff is kind of, it's not even like grease. It's just like a light oil. And what it kind of reminds me of is like a really well-packed Cosmoline kit, you know, where you've got all your random Russian parts and some nice Cosmoline hanging out there to keep it fresh till the apocalypse. So with these things, I kind of feel the same way. It's where it's got this kind of nice gloss finish to it. What it looks like to me is like melanite. That's off top what it looks like to me. It looks like it's melanite with a little bit of grease or a little bit of oil on it. So again, everything, it looks and feels like it should. Again, I've built a lot of Anderson kits. You know, they do, again, take a really good amount of care in packaging the parts. So much so that I can't get them back in the right spot. So yeah, those are your standard parts there. If we go over here and look at the more lower parts here, we'll keep our grip screw. We're throwing away that A2 grip because A2 grips are crap. Yeah, I mean, standard stuff, like I use a lot of V7 parts, the V7 takedown pins. So when I feel how heavy a stock pin is, this feels like it's pretty, or it's aluminum or steel or whatever, but it feels pretty hefty. You know, I'm kind of spoiled for stuff using their things. So, but again, this is really quick and easy, kind of cheapo build. The lower I'm making has been on, or well, it will have an upper that has been kind of kicking around by itself for a long time. I've been swapping out uppers and lowers, a 556 and a 300 blackout. So, yeah. So, anyways, that's kind of what these guys are all about. Again, there's more of that sort of light oil on the parts, but then we go to like the external parts, and the trigger guard doesn't have it. Okay, so that's kind of nice that they're not, you know, just smearing oil all over the parts kit and calling it good. It's, you know, hey, here's the internal parts that will need some sort of lubrication. And here's the parts that are outside that won't. The most I can say for stuff like this, for the RF85 and the lube and all that stuff, is if you use it, I mean, if you're using, you can kind of see there, it's a little glistening. If you use it, I would use it in the sense of putting the kit together. Okay, so a lot of times when I put kits together, I'll put like oil and things like that, especially like the buffer tube threads and all sorts of stuff, and it really helps kind of put things together. With this, you need a little bit less of that kind of stuff for your kit. So when you're putting stuff in, like your pins and stuff, they'll walk in a little bit easier than if they had no treatment or anything else like that. So that's basically the best thing I can say about those. So what do I think about them? Well, I've used a ton of them, and they're all right. You know, if you need a lower build kit, they're a lot better than some. Like there's kits out there, guys. You know, like Spikes. I don't understand it. It's like a $70, $80 kit, and it's a mil spec trigger. You know, mil spec all the parts, and I don't get it. You know, I don't understand where the the uptick in value is. You know, if they give us a cool hammer, if they give us a cool trigger, if they give us an actual like upgraded trigger, hey, fine, I'll pay the price for it. But I'm not gonna pay like $80, $90 for a POF lower kit. That's ridiculous. So yeah, I mean maybe that's just me, but for me these work out very, very well. They're very adequate for what they needed to be. Guys, if you're doing a high-end rifle, you're probably not even looking at a $50, $60 lower parts kit. So if you're in there, I mean, I've got some too, where you don't put anything in there that's not name brand super expensive Gucci stuff, and that's fine. Everybody's got builds like that. Everybody wants to have a rifle that's really, really slick. You're probably not looking at these. Fair enough, So if you are looking at something like this, it's because cost is generally a factor. So if you are buying something, in this case, the build was, we're putting this together for kind of a lower price than normal. So cost for me is a factor. So I'm not going to buy a $90 parts kit when I'm going to throw away the grip. I'm going to throw away the trigger guard. Some of the pins and stuff I'll probably replace, like V7 and stuff. And I may even redo the trigger. So for me, it doesn't make any sense to pay 2 times as much for something that I'm going to still throw away the same pieces. And if they gave me a Magpul, they gave me like a Myad or a Mission First Tactical Grip, which I personally love, then we would be talking. But they don't, so I don't really see that. So again, I want you guys to understand that, an Anderson is a pretty good value if you're looking for value. I build stuff for people and I'm like, hey, would you like to do something like this? And they're like, no, I want super expensive stuff. And it kind of blows my mind, especially for people's first rifles. But if money is an object, and it probably is if you're building an AR these days, Anderson is pretty much good to go. So just real quick, what we have here with this Anderson Lower is, I'll just show you putting the, there we go. So this is I believe it's Cerakoted. It is a UTG Pro tube. Now, guys, I get it. I used to just duke on UTG like crazy, but their stuff recently has been really, really impressing me. I mean, their rail stuff, the UTG Pro rails, out of sight. Really, really good stuff. I mean, this is going in there like butter. Yeah, the only thing I don't like about Anderson Lowers, and I've found this because a lot of people clone them, and make their own lowers, and they say that they're proprietary or whatever. The one thing I don't like is, see if we can see this here. If we look at, there you go. Okay, so we look at the takedown. There, and you see it. See how little material there is with that hole? That's for the detemp there to hold in the buffer assembly. Very, very, very little material in front of it, okay? I'm not wild about that. I have a lot of blowers that have something like that that don't. It just feels like it's going to be knocked out to me before too long. But again, I've built a ton of these and I've shot the shit out of them, you know, thousands and thousands of rounds, which I know isn't like a super, you know, like I'm not going to be, you know, grand thumb or something, just blowing millions of rounds. But for the price and the purpose and the purchase that I've done with it, I've been happy with it. You know, I've not had anything knock loose on that. Again, that is just holding in the spring and all that. It's not going to be, it's just like a constant wear item, but something to be aware of. The other thing that I see with the Andersons too is their grip screw pocket has sometimes in the past been missized or not deep enough. In this case, it goes all the way through. I don't remember if all the other lowers do that or not, but I don't believe so. Actually, I don't believe so. We'll find out. We'll find out together some of these days. So you can see this going through here, that there's a hole all the way through. Now, previous Anderson lowers had issues where they were, the screw pocket was too short. So you get your screw in there and it'd be like, I don't know, 5/6 the way in, and then it would just bottom out and stop. And then you would have to basically back it out and then take like a Dremel cutoff wheel or a belt sander and just grind it off the front tip of that screw and then put it back up and keep going. So that was a pain in the butt, but it was a known issue. I mean, I put together 3 or 4 of them that we knew that this was an issue. And then they stopped. So whatever they were doing it right to, make sure that they were getting the parts in there, and drilling them the right way. So, I haven't had that problem since. We'll let you know how, once this thing is together, how it goes. So again, we're going to just go ahead and kind of put these Anderson products together and, we'll make this a lower here. Guys, if you have questions, if you want to see more of this stuff, definitely let us know in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, do all that great stuff. We definitely love it. Definitely helps out the channel, which we definitely need a little bit of growth here so you can get out there and share this with other people. So guys, I won't run on forever and a day. I'll go ahead and wrap this up. And then once I kind of get this lower together, we'll take another look at it and I'll let you kind of know what was an issue, what wasn't an issue, what went together well, what didn't. So guys, have a great rest of your day and talk to you real soon.